Hello, all you hep cats. It is I, the Mad Catter, and you've crawled your way through the labyrinth of YouTube to find yourself at Twisted Turns. Today, I'm showing off another gaming product I rather enjoy. Once again, I must preface this video with the fact that I am not sponsored. I'm just showing everyone something shiny that I like. Or at least I'm not sponsored yet. Nudge, nudge. Wink, wink. I probably need a few more subscribers before that happens. Anyway... Meow, I know everything is subscription these days. From video streaming services to monthly goodie boxes to shaving kits for your nether bits. Gamers have no shortage of them either. Video gamers have their season passes and MMO subscriptions, and TTRPG gamers have umpteen services, typically targeting GMs, to help them with playing and running their games or supporting their favorite content creators or actual play channels. Do I have a solution? Absolutely not. I'm here to add one more log to the flames, but it's okay. It's Everon Games. Is this the best deal in gaming? I don't know. I'm just a creepy cat creature, but it is a damn good deal. Everon Games is the monstrously magical love child between The Printing Goes Everon, Props and Beyond, and D&D is a Woman, the latter of which is in partnership with Lila Mev, the Mini Witch. Now, if you're like me, you have no idea who these three content creators are, and for my part, I have an excuse. Almost all of my TTRPGs are run online, and these fine folks specialize in 3D printing assets. Also, I live in a small cave without much space, so terrain and minis and maps are often done digitally even when I'm running in-person games. Despite all of that, their collaboration is still incredibly valuable because they have gotten into adventure design. For an incredibly low price of $2.99 a month, yes, a cup of coffee is more expensive, though I'm not sure why everybody uses that as a metric. Coffee tastes like dirt and broken dreams. Anyway, you get a lovely package. Adventure? You got one, except you have more than one, as their adventures are scalable. That's right, you can run the same adventure for low-level greenhorns, adventurers who finally see things like their first and second stat boost or their second attack, the sweet spot of gaming, and, that middling range most campaign books cap out at, and then, though even those levels that WotC are too cowardly to publish adventures for. You get a lot of other things as well, including battle maps, camp mini-games, encounter generator tables, plug-and-play factions, and virtual tabletop assets, in case you're like me and do all of your gaming online. Hell, they even have custom character sheets. Want to try their past adventures? Well, they have to incentivize people subscribing to their service, so the price goes up. But frankly, $10 per adventure, especially with everything you get, is still a pretty solid price point, in my not-so-humble opinion. Now, I've had the fortune of signing up and subscribing from day one, but let's go over some of what you get. Pardon me as I go through these elements of the Everon subscription unscripted. Alright, so I'm going to explore Slayer Masquerade. However, do bear in mind, this is from October of 2024. Currently, they have had one, two, three, four, well, one for each month. Currently, they're on Asgard Amusement. I have not explored this particular adventure all that much. I'm not terribly concerned with real world mythology and deities. Well, yes. The one before that was Beowulf's Deceit, and again, I'm not terribly concerned with real world mythology. That said, that doesn't mean you won't be. This is just not my bag. Still, I can use what is in these particular adventures, and I can probably adapt them and mold them to my needs. Or I might just rip them one for one. Who knows? Maybe I'll change my tune. I do love Viking stuff, so maybe I'll run a Viking game and I can run Asgard Amusement. However, I am going to go through Slayer Masquerade. So as you can see, this is the library you get when you subscribe and get one of these adventures. You get a 20% miniatures discount. This is limited time, I believe, and these are for STL files, I believe. Let's see. I'm going to click, and if I have to, I will edit out what results. Okay. Yes, so Everon Games, they have a lot of these STLs, and each subscription month will give you a discount on those STLs. I do not have a 3D printer. I probably will never have one, or at least not in the near future. So, yes. That said, these are pretty solid miniatures. So if you are of the sort who would... Oh my god. Anyway, if you are of the sort who would actually enjoy STL miniatures, this strikes me as a pretty solid deal. They all seem to be of so good quality. Of course, I would not know. I haven't used them, so your mileage may vary. And they have a lot. As you can see, this is just page 1 of 14. So, we're gonna go back and back again. Good. I don't have to edit out any of that. So, of course, for your downloads, you have the discount, and then you have the Slayer Masquerade full pack. That'll be a download of everything they offer. Then you have a print-friendly version in case you want to print out what they have to offer. Then you have a file for the battle maps, character sheet, NPC cards, stat blocks, tokens, cheat sheet, all in one PDF file if you just want everything in a single document. The Adventure Hooks Almanac, Arcane Codex, Checkpoints, Cultural Anthology, which is their handouts, the Encounter Generator Table, Expanded Content, Factions, Introduction, Monster Hunter Journal, which is a sort of in-world in-world product, PDF, handout, sort of just to flesh things out a little bit more. And then you'll have ritual items. And that's just from the download. So here in this library, and I really do like their library and how it's organized. It is organized how my brain would like these things to be organized. You get All of these that you can download individually, but you can download the full pack and get them all in one. You get the introduction. During the annual Slayer Masquerade hosted by Okabe, a respected samurai, a shocking murder takes place. The PCs get entangled in a complex web of secrets as they must navigate the mysteries of Okabe's mansion, uncover ancient rituals, and discover the brutal truth. It is revealed that Okabe framed a yokai for a village massacre, and now the yokai seeks revenge. The PCs will make choices that will impact Okabe, the yokai, and the entire region. And then it gives you a cheat sheet, and these cheat sheets I'll explore later when we start looking at the PDFs, but they are handy. They are a general overview of the adventure and what to expect. Very useful for DMs who just need a general overview in one spot. Locations. It gives you a rundown of the locations, obviously. Okabe's village, a luxurious villa surrounded by shrines, gardens, and hidden passageways, hosting the annual masquerade. The monastery complex, accessible via hidden corridors from the villa, with catacombs beneath it. And the catacombs, a secret underground complex containing Okabe's darkest secrets, including a hidden dragon's egg. We all know how much adventuring parties love to have dragon's eggs. Key NPCs, Okabe, tiefling samurai, respected leader and hidden villain, responsible for framing a yokai for his crimes. Mizuki, tabaxi ninja, Okabe's closest ally who persuaded him to conceal the massacre and helped to kill the yokai. Hisui, Yuanti's sorcerer, once an accomplice, now filled with regret, hiding key information. And Suk, Aarakocra monk, found dead at the start of the adventure. Her murder is the catalyst for the investigation. Wukong, monkey-like trickster, a wild card in the story, hosting gambling games but holding secrets of his own. So you get a nice overview of the various NPCs that the GM will have to play. Factions. The yokai, a spirit unjustly framed for murder, now seeking revenge. Okabe's allies, Mizuki, his closest friend, and Hisui, who helped to kill the yokai but now has doubts. And the Rakshasa, a scheming outsider who offers the PCs rewards if they retrieve a dragon egg hidden in the catacombs. And then creatures, it gives you a run, and I love this, it gives you an idea of what to expect from the adventure. I don't know of any adventure products that release that give you this kind of overview, and frankly, I am here for it. Elementals, fire, water, air, and earth. And heart, elementals guarding Okabe's treasures, smoke methods, mischievous creatures guarding secret areas, Rakshasa, if crossed, becomes a powerful enemy, yokai, depending on the PC's choices, they may face the yokai in a final battle, Oriental dragon, imprisoned dragon with a calm and good nature that may be triggered to attack. And all of these are like this. You have Lullaby of Stones, Heart of the Forest, and the very first adventure, Hunt Beyond the Grave, which is what caught my attention to this group, because I am fond of horror, especially gothic horror, and seeing Hunt Beyond the Grave with a vampire hunter D-looking person on the cover, well, I jumped on it, and I have not regretted it. $2.99 a month for all of this. Like, even if you get a month where it doesn't just click with you, like, for me, these two, Beowulf's Deceit from February and March's Asgard Amusement, they aren't vibing with me, just from the general conceit. To be perfectly honest and fair, I have not actually done a dive into them, so I don't know if I will like them or not. I just have my initial biases, and frankly, once I look at them, they might change. I am a fickle creature, to put it mildly. All right, so that is my take from their library, and we will move on. All right, so here we are with the PDFs. This is the Slayer Masquerade. I believe this is the all-in-one PDF, so it will have everything in it. Now, one of my little litmus tests for PDFs when it comes to gaming products is, do they take advantage of the amazing PDF technology? Which is to say, do they make it more than just a digital representation of the book, or do they use the features you can get? Let's find out. Ah, they do! I can click on a link in the index, and it will take me where I want to go. Any gaming PDF that doesn't have that most basic of features, the hyperlink, should not charge you more than absolute minimum. And you will find gaming PDFs that will charge you $40 for the PDF, and it will just be that, a PDF. It may not even have bookmarks. How the hell do you make a PDF and charge like almost full price and not have bookmarks at the very least? But this one, it does have bookmarks. Let's see, it's not gonna, oh, no, it does show it very nicely. Excellent. So it has the bookmarks, but it also uses hyperlinks. Oh, it is so refreshing to see when these products take advantage of the medium they are presented in. They have hyperlinks. So here you have the ritual item, and it says suggested events, Geisha's Ace, I think that's it, Dares with Wukong. Well, I do love the Monkey King, so let's go to Wukong. And there we go. It gives you that little event. That is so refreshing. And then you return to checkpoint. They are taking full advantage of this for their product. And it's only $2.99 a month. And if you don't get these, then it's $10. And that is worth it, in my not-so-humble opinion. So, here we go. We're going to go through the breakdown of the various PDFs. Here we have the factions. It will go through the various description of the various factions. It is a single-page PDF, but it's nice to have there if that is something you need to focus on and you want to have on deck. Then we'll go to the introduction, which is a 2-page. Here, I don't know why I didn't do that. They have wonderful art too. Like, their art is pretty solid. It's, it's not like a fantastic layout where each page is a painting or anything, but it is a pleasant to look at layout, and I appreciate that. So here is the document for the introduction to the adventure. It'll give you the synopsis, which is only a paragraph. Not 15 paragraphs of stuff that the players will never know, but just a paragraph. It'll give you the objective, the location, important sites, factions, key NPCs, enemies, recurring events. I love this. And then we have the Monster Hunter Journal, which is a feature in every issue of, I'm going to call it an issue, every issue of Everon Games' subscription service, which is a sort of in-world journal where that explores the various monsters. It's only a small part of the thing, but it gives you a bit of flavor, a bit of immersion, and you can probably easily find a place in each adventure to slip something like this in, or it just gives you, the GM, a bit of a feel for the world and the setting and of the adventure without it being canonical to any singular world or setting. Then we go to the ritual items. We have a PDF of the various cards, the NPC and monster cards that you can print out and cut out if you so like, to make things a bit easier for you as a GM to handle. Then we move on, and we have those very same cards. I think I just accidentally posted this twice. My apologies. Then we move on to Cultural Anthology, which is a handout that you can give your players. You can print this out, maybe cut it out, and you can give it to your players, and it's an in-world handout, and that is nice. Some adventures have more Cultural Anthology than others. Then we have the Adventure Hooks Almanac, which gives you a list of reasons why the adventurers might be involved in this particular adventure. We have the Arcane Codex, which gives you a bunch of item information. This one is about 10 pages? Yes. Well, sorry, 5 pages. I can count, I promise. And it gives you all of the information you need for the various magical items. You have the checkpoints, which is a great way of organizing an adventure, just to give you the solid points that should happen. There is an RPG system that I absolutely love. It's called Savage Worlds, and they used to, I'm not saying they don't anymore, but they used to publish campaigns and adventures in a method known as plot point. Plot point campaigns, you could get an entire campaign that would take your players and your game sessions a year and a half to run, but it would break it down into bite-sized bits, where a lot of Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder games might micromanage everything down to the tiniest little inclusion of a rusty spoon. Yay, salad fingers. These adventures broke the game down to their core elements, and then it was up to the GM and the party to get from point A to point B to point C. And as such, it showed the GM what was important to the adventure, but allowed for the chaos that is the herding cats of running a game for player characters. And it wasn't always perfect, but I will say they are, in my opinion, a better structure for running a game than most modern 5e and Pathfinder adventures usually are. Now, not saying that the checkpoints are a one-to-one comparison, but that is what they remind me of. They break down the important parts of this adventure. So you've got your Let's Get the Party Started. The PCs arrive at Ukabe's villa for the annual Slayer Masquerade. Mingling with the guests and participating in games, and atmosphere is lively, but strange occurrences begin to surface. And then points out the grand entrance, and the horror begins. And then goes to clues and cards, and racing against the clock, and secrets below the surface, and the final countdown. And it gives you a breakdown of all of these things. I love that. more adventures that are published that are supposed to be big adventures should include something like this. As a forever GM, this is wonderful. I love it. Now we move on. You have the encounter generator table. We've all seen them. Encounter generator tables are usually a dime a dozen, but I actually do like this. It breaks it down by XP value because these adventures are meant to be played for any level of campaign, or at least for a variety of levels of campaigns. So if you are running a game for players who are 10th level, you're not going to use the encounter generator for 100 XP encounters. That's just going to be pointless. But you might use the encounter level generator for, say, 2,300 XP. Or 1800 XP, or any of the other ones, whatever is appropriate to the level that you are running the game for. And that is great, especially if you're trying to run a adventure that is designed for multiple levels. And then we get into expanded content, and that is the everything else section. We have the adventure introduction hooks, checkpoint events, and, oh, I did not set this properly. Hold on one moment. I hate scrolling through these. I like the just instant page after page. And then you have the various events that occur during the adventure. And, yeah, it goes through all of that. Now, these individual things, as you can see, the checkpoints, return to checkpoint, the hyperlinks aren't fully implemented in these individual PDFs, and that is perfectly fine. But now we're going to go back to the beginning. So here we are. We have your checkpoints, which is the breakdown of the adventure itself, and it's only a few pages. But then we have the expanded, it is literally the various PDFs that we have just gone over. Encounter generator, stat blocks, etc., etc. All in all, this is an amazing way to present adventures. If I ever publish my own adventures, I will probably look to Everon Games for inspiration. Anyway, let's move on. Now, I did mention the cheat sheet, and this is another sheet similar to the plot point elements I was discussing a moment ago. And this is an overview. Why the yokai slays. It gives you a very casual description of the motivations. What are you even doing here? It gives you a few, well, adventure hooks. The golden egg, you say. It talks about the dragon egg. The guest list. It talks about the various NPCs. So this is really just like the blurb on the back of the book. And it is really solid. Not as amazing as the stuff I was talking about before, but it is very handy for an overview when you want to see whether or not this adventure is what you are wanting to use, and it's also good for seeing how this adventure might play out. I just wanted to touch on this before I moved on to some of the assets. And here we have the custom character sheet. Every adventure they publish has a custom character sheet, and my mileage is minimal when it comes to these. I don't run a lot of in-person games. However, the regular D&D character sheet, it's kind of boring. But this is actually rather pretty. And when you subscribe, they give you multiple versions. There's print-friendly versions of both, but they have an A4 printing format and a letter size printing format for those, because A4 format is getting more and more popular these days, and frankly, I prefer it. It's smaller, yes, but I like it. I like A4 books because if I am reading in bed and I fall asleep and it hits my head, I do not feel like I might have to check for injuries. So, as you can see, it gives you your stats up here at the top. Easy to put in both the stat and the modifier, or just the modifier, depending on your preference. Character name, player, race, class, background, inspiration, proficiency bonuses. It has everything you need. Of course, equipment is not included. Frankly, I don't think an equipment section on a character sheet is vital. Just use the back of the sheet. But that's my take. It is a one-page character sheet, so they do focus on everything they consider to be important. Pardon me, my cat is wanting attention. So, yes, I really enjoy that they include this. It is useless to me for my purposes, but others' mileage may vary. So, custom character sheet. I think it's pretty neat. All right, moving on. And last, but certainly not least, we have the virtual tabletop assets. Here we have your tokens, the tokens that you can use for the various creatures and NPCs in the game. However, in addition to the tokens, well, every virtual tabletop needs their battle maps, and we have them. They come in gridded and non-gridded, so you can, for example, have this scene of the ballroom. There's your non-gridded version. There's your gridded version. We move on to the dragon prison and then a secret room. And that is wonderful. But in addition to these image files, they also have them in PDF format. Let's see. Here we are. So, we have a PDF format that you can print out and use as map cards, which is wonderful if you are doing in-person games. And each adventure comes with this. Honestly, this is easily one of my favorite DM resources in terms of adventures and well, that. Yes, there are a lot of dungeon masters out there who do content creation, and they make some fantastic adventures that you can get on Patreon and whatnot. But for $2.99 a month, I love this. And it's even somebody like myself, who often finds himself broke, can still throw down for $2.99 a month. That's why I have every one that they've had since their inception. And frankly, I think if you're a DM who wants a solid drop-in, drop-out adventure, you should probably take a look at Everon Games. In conclusion, is Everon Games the best deal in TTRPG gaming? Honestly, I don't know. One could argue you could get better deals by signing up for a single month on some content creator's Patreon and downloading everything your twisted little heart desires, then unsubscribing. But for its own subscription service, this is the most bang for my monthly buck that I've seen. Excellent adventures with loads of supporting content and immersive handouts, and if you like miniatures and have access to a 3D printer, you can get even more. So if you're a 5e GM, definitely take a look. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Thank you so much for making it to the end of my video. Now, remember, my creepy kitties, I am just a creepy cat creature with a video editing degree from YouTube University. But if you enjoyed this video, then claw at that like button, and paw at the subscription button, and, maybe caterwaul a catcall into the chasm of the comment section down below, and help this channel grow. If you want to support this fledgling channel and more of me and my mischief, then buy me a coffee, though I do prefer tea, via the link down below. And you can check a number of my other projects and channels as well through the various links in the doobly-doo. I have been your host, the Mad Catter, and until next time, may all your turns be twisted. Good night, my kitties, and of course, pleasant dreams.